20 in Philadelphia at the Philadelphia Spectrum, scheduled to compete on the Pro Wrestling Spectacular. You shall see the likes of the popular SD Special Delivery Jones beating individual competition. February 20, however, we'll see a six-man tag team match extraordinaire. On the one side, Lou Albano himself donning the tights, joining Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito, competing against Rick Martel, Tony Garea, and their partner, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Ivan Putski's waiting to lock up with Killer Khan. And in February at the Spectrum, Greg Valentine will square off against dynamic Pedro Morales. And we'll find out indeed who's the better man in the Intercontinental title match. Notwithstanding Bob Backlund's title defense against a man who perhaps is in all of his glory, reaching his peak now, Jesse the Body Ventura. In a moment, we'll be joined by one Greg Valentine and his manager, the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. And there's no doubt in the minds of many of the fans in Philadelphia that Mr. Valentine, notwithstanding his actions at the Spectrum recently, his actions on television a couple of weeks ago, surely will rank as one of the lowest deeds done in or out of the squared circle.
Well, thank you very much, and we sincerely appreciate that, because that's just what was intended. You take a low-class pig and you treat him like one. And Morales is nothing but absolute trash. That's what you do to trash. You do it the way Greg did. Correct, Intercontinental Champion of mine.
A couple of weeks ago, when everybody viewed what I did to Pedro Morales, the Intercontinental Championship match we had on nationwide TV, I taped it. I have one of those selective visions in my house. I invited the Grand Wizard over, and we had a big dinner. But first of all, we watched the match, and we ran it over and over. And the more we ran it, the more we enjoyed it, and we laughed and left. And then we had our steaks, rare with the blood coming out. Morales, you look good. You look good laying there like a dog, because that's exactly what you are, scum. Laying on that concrete floor, shaking and quivering, sputtering and stammering. And that's exactly what you're going to do in Philadelphia. All I got to do is give you one suplex. You don't have to be on the concrete, right in that squared circle, and it's all over. The belt will be mine.
The Grand Wizard along with Greg Valentine. Mr. Valentine hoping indeed to defeat Pedro Morales at the Spectrum. In a moment, the World Wrestling Federation champion, Bob Backlund, will join us. And Mr. Backlund, there's no doubt that you've met many an unusual opponent in your reign as World Wrestling Federation champion in, I guess, 3 years now. But none any more unusual, or should we say, eccentric, than Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yes, he's a one-of-a-kind type. I don't know where Freddie Blassie found him, but he found him, and you got to respect the man. He's the #1 contender. He climbed up the ladder real fast, and if anybody can beat anybody in professional wrestling, including myself, it's Jesse the Body Ventura. And I must admit, I'm a little bit worried about it. I've had some tough matches in the past few months, and some hard ones in the Spectrum, and I'm not going to give in to this man, but I hope the matches that I've had in the past haven't been taking their toll, and I hope that I don't have any weaknesses when I get into the ring against this man, because he's definitely capable of taking advantage of any of them.
You obviously would not want to match strength, will they?
No, I would never ever think of matching strength with the man. He's a powerful man. He's a well-built man, and I would go in there and try to outmaneuver the man if I could.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vince.
Bob Backlund, the World Wrestling Federation champion, preparing for his title defense at the Spectrum against our next guest. Here with us now, Freddie Blassie, along with the Body, the #1 contender.
That's right, the #1 contender, and I've been traveling all over. I've been rested. You know, Bob Backlund, you're tired. You are wore out from the schedule you've been keeping, defending your championship all over the world, while I've been waiting in the wings. Waiting in the wings, preparing. You know how I prepared for this championship match? I traveled around the country bodyguarding the Rolling Stones. That's how I prepared. Now, let me ask you something. Why would the Rolling Stones choose me as a bodyguard instead of Backlund if they didn't feel I was the rightful champion? Which I truly am. You know, I'm an international star. They write songs about me. And Backlund, you are going down. Down fast to the Body.